Welcome to another episode of Shit Hotels of Australia, where we travel this wide, brown, or in this case moist land, and stay in hotels and motels and hope that they're not shit. Tonight I'm in Strahan on the west coast of Tasmania, and I'm staying for 3 nights at Strahan Village. And if you look around me, pretty much everything you can see is Strahan Village. And I'm not just talking about the village of Strahan, but I'm talking about this tourism, hospitality, accommodation empire. Strahan Village is an NRMA operation. They operate here the accommodation over here, the little cottages, the hotel accommodation and all the bars and restaurants up there. And they're really nice places to stay. But for me, I'm up the hill, I'm up those stairs. Strahan Village, NRMA, even own and operate the grey ship moored behind us. And I'll be travelling on that on Tuesday. So this video is actually going to be a little bit more than just an exploration of some accommodation, because we're going to check out pretty much every aspect of the NRMA's operation, and we're also going to check out 2 cruises up the Macquarie Harbour and the Gordon River, where I'll be filming on Sarah Island the first episode of The Right Stuff, about my ancestor who was the commandant there. So make sure you check that one out on the other channel. So if you can look behind up on the hill, that's where my room is located, and we'll go out and check it out very shortly. So what you can see around us here is the upper part of the Strahan Village complex, sort of more traditional motel style. Okay, so this is room 2421 of the Lyle wing of the Strahan Village complex, accommodation complex, and we'll talk more about that later on. But let's check out the room first. What do we got? We've got a queen size bed, a single bed, a dining table with 3 chairs, a heater, beautiful, a largish TV, bench top, luggage storage. Is that a bottle of vodka? I doubt it. Fridge, wine glasses and coffee making facilities. An umbrella, very handy here in Strahan. A fan, the wind is strong enough today. Ironing board, spare blanket. And in here, bathroom, we have a shower with a handle for the old, infirm or drunk, or all 3. I think I qualify for all 3 now. Some dispensers, a sink with no actual plug, toilet, yep. So yeah, seems not too bad. And let's go and check out the rest of the complex and surrounds. Up here in this part of the complex, which is ironically the cheapest part, is the most expensive restaurant, which we'll just have a little look at. So this is View 42 Degrees Restaurant and Bar. Come in and have a look. There's some people here, so we won't interrupt them. So I didn't record any audio inside the 42 degrees view restaurant and bar because there was copyrighted music playing, and if anyone's seen my latest video on my other channel, I deal with the copyright issue. Yeah, so the buffet is $66 per person. You saw the size of the actual buffet servery there, so it's from what I can see online, it doesn't look too bad, but maybe the same sort of similar quality as on the Spirit of Tasmania, but which I don't think is worth $66. So I've got other options for eating, which we'll explore a little bit closer to the time. So all these units are the more upmarket accommodation of the village, and in here is one of the restaurants known as The Kitchen, which doesn't have pizzas today. And then a little bit further on, Hamers was originally a separate business, a separate hotel, and was incorporated into Strahan Village back in the 2000s. I'm thinking mid 2000s. So from here you can check out the entirety of the Strahan Village NRMA operation, from the Gordon River cruises across to Hamers Hotel, Restaurant, Grill, Bottle Shop, up to the kitchen, then to the quaint cottages, then further more motel accommodation along the side, and then up on the hill is the other largest part of the accommodation. And now let's check out the TV. Welcome. Well, we can see that we definitely have the sevens, because we've got the second test. So what have we got? We've got obviously ABCs, SBS, 7. So just the free-to-airs. So just the free-to-air TV. And look, considering we are on the wild west coast of Tas, we're actually quite impressed that we've got all of these TV channels. No, it's not a smart TV, so it doesn't pretend to do anything other than what it is. So let's keep watching some cricket. So now we'll check out the Wi-Fi. Now I've already connected to the Wi-Fi. It does require a password, but it's not secured, so use it at your own risk. But we'll check out the Wi-Fi speed with the old Netflix test. Okay, we'll check out Saving Private Ryan. Play. Yep, seamless. So Wi-Fi looks good. I wasn't sure about Wi-Fi here on the west coast, remembering when it was not particularly brilliant at Queenstown, which is a bigger town than Strahan, although I guess being a tourist town they probably want to get things right, but we'll check it out over the next couple of nights and see what the speed's like. And now for the shit hotels of Australia. Instant coffee test, and here at the Strahan Village we have Nescafe with expiry July 2027. But as always, I won't be drinking it, but I have come prepared again. Brought my own coffee filter. I'm here for 3 nights. I was thinking about bringing the little Nespresso machine, but then I wasn't sure would I have to lug it up those hills. That's 380 steps from reception to the room. There is parking just outside though. It's going to cost me about $400 for cruises on both of these cruise boats to give me an hour each day to film at the key location. Well, it's a very damp and cloudy morning here for our first Macquarie Harbour, Gordon River, Sarah Island cruise. We're on the Wilderness World Heritage cruises, Harbour Master 2 for this one. Nice window seat, and yeah, we'll check out and see when we can actually see the scenery. Well, see how we go. Well, as usual, the DJI mini mic is not syncing to this, so I apologise about the audio. So we've just left Sarah Island, and if you want to see what happens on Sarah Island, you're going to have to watch the other channel, and I'll put a link in the description below. Lunch is just about to be served, and then we'll be heading up towards the Gordon River. Well, the lunch has arrived, and it consists of some cheese, some chicken, and bread roll, a little bit of salad. Looks pretty good, and a little bottle of water. So I will tuck in and let you know what it was like. The meal, yeah, it was okay. Some of it was a bit bland, some of it was really good, and certainly there was enough of it. So we'll compare this to the meal from tomorrow's cruise. So this is one of 2 laundries that are here at Strahan Village apparently, and one washer, one dryer. What's the cost? $5 for each, and they have change. So I was going to have dinner at the Hamer's Bar. I walked in there and the music was so loud. It was, yeah, it was just a bit off-putting, and wouldn't have been able to record this, would I? Due to the copyright hits. So I'm getting some fish and chips from the Westerly's Fish and Chips. $20 for a small fish and chips and $4 for a tartare sauce. They really know how to sting the punters here at the tourist town that is Strahan. But anyway, we'll take it back to the room and see what it's like. Well, this is the small fish and chips. It's a small fish, but it's huge chips. And I'll tuck in and see what it's like.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Well, all I can say about that fish and chips was it was pretty ordinary. One of the downsides of being in a tourist town is that the visitors are here for 1 day, 2 days. There's no local market for the food services, and they don't have to deliver consistent quality. It's exactly what I found when I lived at Airlie Beach in the Whitsundays, and it's what I found here at Strahan. So I was pretty hungry tonight. The meal on the boat was not bad. It was quite a good size, but I wasn't particularly hungry when it came to me. But yeah, that fish and chips. Anyway, here's cheers. So now let's check out some upkeep issues, and to be honest, there are very few indeed. The heater is a tad old and doesn't seem to turn all the way up. One of these lights has blown a globe. In the bathroom, in the shower, a little bit of grout could have done with a bit of extra cleaning, a little bit of rust down there. Oh, there's a few scuff marks on the back of the door. But the one that really is inexcusable is this. And no, that's not me. And I know that they have tannin-rich water here in Macquarie Harbour, but the water that comes out of the tap is clear. So I think that's inexcusable. that they haven't tried to scrub that off, because I opened it up the first time and must admit I got a bit of a shock. Yeah, I mean, they do have people who clean the rooms, and I must admit that something like that is inexcusable. I mean, I opened up the toilet lid for the first time yesterday, and I was horrified until I realised it wasn't what I thought it was. And the other one, which is interesting, is the tap says hot, cold. So I had the tap running for a long time last night, trying to get some hot water, until I tried the other way. Hot. So the tap's the wrong way round. A little bit infuriating, but not a major issue. And when considering upkeep, you should always look up. Interesting, all those splatters on the ceiling. Looks like the housekeeping staff probably haven't looked up either, but interesting how those splotches got there. It looked like coffee or tea, but maybe exploding Coke bottle? Who knows? So in terms of upkeep, that's about it. Pretty good, really.
Day 3.
Well, we're on board our second Gordon River cruise. This is on the Gordon River Cruises, Spirit of the Wild. First up, comparison between Harbour Master yesterday. Got a little tray table beside the seat. The centre seats don't have the little face-to-face tables like the other one did, which is perhaps a little bit of a disadvantage for families. And the leg room is less. There's some little barrier here, so I can't actually stretch my legs out. It's a bit more of an economy seat experience. But we'll compare the catering a bit later on, and we'll get some shots of Gordon River and some of the other scenery, because the sun is actually out today. Just. Well, to the right. I hope the noise of this PA isn't this loud for the entirety of the trip, because this is deafening and it's actually distorting the speaker. So we're just coming up to the salmon farms, and it'll be interesting to see how the Gordon River Cruises
floating pens that you can see all around us
addresses.
They're part of Macquarie Harbour's fish farming operations. There are 3 different companies in the harbour. They're Tassal, Huon Aquaculture and Tuna Seafoods. Independent research is being conducted within Macquarie Harbour to record and report dissolved oxygen levels, salinity and algae. This is done by the Institute for Marine and Antarctic Studies, as well as the Environmental Protection Agency. For more information, you can refer to their websites or reports.
A lot more information given on this cruise than yesterday's cruise. The skipper of Harbour Master 2 is actually a former employee of one of the salmon companies, and he said that they've been told to give minimal information out because too many people complain. And I said, what, you mean they complain about being told the truth? And he laughed and said, unfortunately so. On this cruise, they've given out a little more information. Again, it's good to see that some factual information is being provided. So this is the wilderness walk at the Heritage Landing, walking through temperate rainforest, and couldn't shoot any footage on the red boat trip because it was raining in a rainforest. Who would have thought? This walk doesn't excite me too much because I've done lots of walking in rainforests in Tasmania, but it's a really good experience for those people who are new to the area, coming to see what it's like. It's very accessible. So if you come on the walk, there is a bit of a guided lecture, not lecture, a chat about type of forests that's around and the type of trees. Again, I know all about these trees, so I'm not going to hang around for it. Might just take a quiet stroll through here and head back to the boat. This is my favourite rainforest tree. This is the myrtle, sometimes known as the myrtle beech. Scientific name, if I remember correctly, is Nothophagus cunninghamii. And as you come through this bit of the forest, you'll actually see some existent huon pines. And one thing I noticed from the videos that the Gordon River Cruises shows with actors playing various parts is that the person playing the piner referred to going up the river to get the huon pine. Now, you think they could have got a Tasmanian, maybe someone from the Huon Valley, to actually pronounce the huon pine correctly. Oh well. So on the Gordon River Cruises, Spirit of the Wild, is a buffet lunch, and serve yourself, obviously, being a buffet. And so I've gone for a few mixed salads, some ham, big bit of smoked salmon, some Portuguese chicken, a bread roll. And there's a number of Muslim passengers on board today, or passengers who happen to be Muslim. And they asked, obviously, was the buffet halal? And the guy said, yeah, everything on the buffet is halal. And then a couple of minutes later he rushed over and said, oh, except for the ham. Well, that was a huge rush on Sarah Island to get the videoing done in 1 hour, considering that it was rained out yesterday. But I managed it, just getting the very last shot finished when the horn on the ship blasted to tell everyone to return to the vessel. So, after all that, I'm a bit hot and sweaty, had to wear costume, and I'm going to celebrate with a beer. Now, I'll put a link to the Captain Samuel Wright series on this one. I don't normally cross-promote my channels, but I will for this one. So I hope you enjoy watching that one when it comes up. And anyway, here's cheers to a great trip. Well, you can see those brave, maybe foolish people heading out onto the foredeck. And then they're complaining about the wind. And, obviously they can't read the chart plotter, which is displayed very clearly by the window, that said just only a couple of minutes ago, speed over the ground 26 knots, true wind speed 32 knots. So 26 and 32 is 58 knots. It's more than 100 kilometres an hour of wind in their face, and they think, well, why is the wind so strong? Oh well, obviously not seafarers. So those two blokes are on the piss at 4 o'clock in the afternoon with the door open. Hopefully they won't continue too late into the night, or at least quieten down. Now, an interesting little comment about service. And when I checked in at reception, and again, they were really, really friendly on check-in, they did advise that they, for stays of up to 3 nights, of which I've got one, they don't service the room each day. And I thought, yeah, okay, that's becoming typical here in Australia. And then when I get into the room, get this lovely little note, signed note by Julie, saying the team is here to make our stay unforgettable. Please reach out, which is really nice. But then there's an interesting little note on the information that they hand out to you on check-in. It says, sustainability. Situated at the gateway to Tasmania's world-renowned, grumpy English teacher, world-renowned Gordon Franklin World Heritage Area, Strahan Village is embracing a sustainable approach to minimise its environmental footprint. With this in mind, we service our guest rooms every second day, only on stays of 3 days or more. And actually, if you look around, yep, the towels haven't been changed, bed hasn't been made. This is night 3, so all good and well, as they said. But the interesting thing is sustainability. So what sort of resources do you use when you make beds? You use human resources. So if you save on those, you save on economic sustainability. And what resources do you use when you wash towels? Water and electricity. Now we're in Strahan, and if you saw some of the footage from yesterday with the rain, you should be aware that Strahan gets 2 metres of rain a year. So it's hardly an issue of scarce water resources in terms of washing these towels. And also Tasmania is the only state which is 100% renewable energy with our hydropower and our wind power. So it's not really an issue of sustainability, environmental sustainability, which is what they're suggesting in terms of the service. But it's definitely an issue with economic sustainability, because the more money they don't have to spend on staff, on electricity, the more sustainable their business is. What is really interesting is where they say the room doesn't get serviced each night. Just finished my first of 2 beers for tonight, and I'm going to put it in the bin. And there were 2 nights of empty beer cans, and the leftover fish and chips, and numerous tissues that I'd coughed my asthmatic lungs into, and the bin's empty. So someone has come in to check on the room and emptied the bin. So the person that they're saving money on to not make the bed is still coming into the room to empty the bin after 2 days. Go figure. So dinner on the 3rd night is the same as dinner on the 1st night, which I didn't film. And it's what we in my family would refer to as a snippety-dippety gift catalogue, which is a line from a Monty Python, an obscure Monty Python sketch. Basically, it's all the little nibbles you can pull out of the fridge and put on the plate in front of you. So we've got some dip with some biscuits, some sliced salami, 2 types of cheese, lavash ki riz and blue costello, 2 types of olives, green olives with anchovies and Lebanese dried black olives, some homemade dill pickled cucumbers. I really like them. I made them. Some sun-dried tomatoes, some pickled onions, some pickled radish, pickled cucumber, some baby peppers stuffed with cream cheese, and a small tin of tuna. Perfectly balanced diet. Washed down with a cheap glass of Goon Shiraz. Here's cheers, and here's to hopefully a good night's sleep on the third night, because, spoiler alert, as those rat bags across the corridor keep up their noise tonight, could be looking at another earplugs bonus. Cheers. So just on the internet, night 3, and watching SBS on demand, and suddenly everything went incredibly slow. So ran a speed test, and what it seems is that they've actually got Starlink, and the speeds are 50.56 download and 25.39 upload. Now, my fixed wireless in my house at Dover is nowhere ever near that fast, but that also seems very bloody slow for Starlink. It still doesn't explain why SBS on demand and even Google wouldn't stream particularly fast.
The next morning.
This is my last morning. I'm checking out in an hour or so. Yesterday morning went to have a shower. Shower on the first morning was okay, but the hot water pressure was great. Really nice shower. So expected the same yesterday morning. Turned on the hot water. Nothing. Oh, sorry, there was water. And the most it got to was barely lukewarm. So I was in a hurry to catch the boat. So I thought, okay, when I come back from the boat, I'll check the hot water, and if it's an issue, I'll go back down to the reception and get it sorted. Came back, turned on the hot water in the afternoon, fine, no problem. Same last night, not a problem. Get up this morning, have a shower, turn on hot water. Luke, barely. Sort of the water temperature that comes out of the tap in North Queensland. Oh, no, it's gone completely cold. So that's pretty bloody ordinary, that in the morning, when you want to have a shower, there's no hot water. But there's hot water in the afternoon when you don't often take a shower. So here I am now, 2 days gone without a wash. And I'll be heading back home, and yeah, guess I'll have to have a shower at home. Pretty bloody ordinary. And as I said, infuriating, because I would have made a complaint yesterday, except that the water came on hot again in the afternoon. And now it's time for the Pirate Score.
Bring up me Harley Joe.
For the Strahan Village motel complex, whatever. First up, cleanliness and upkeep. Well, although the room was basically quite clean and well kept, there were 2 glaring issues. One, that bizarre splattering on the ceiling that hadn't been cleaned up, and the other one was the stain on the toilet. Not so much of what it actually was, but what you thought it was when you lifted the toilet seat lid for the first time. Very, very ordinary. So for cleanliness and upkeep, I can only give it 2 stars. Facilities, well, it had the dining table, it had the bench, but it didn't have a lot else. Had a kettle, no microwave or cutlery or anything, but so facilities, middle of the road, 3 stars. Add-ons, well, pretty much had the whole village, didn't it? It had at least 3 restaurants, bars, bottle shops, had a laundry. I think it said it had 2 laundries. The restaurants were very expensive, and it was a little bit, it had a cruise as well. But all of those add-ons were 400 steps just to reception, let alone then to walk down here, and those 400 steps were straight basically uphill. So while it had everything, I'm going to take a point off for just the climb. So for add-ons, 4 stars. Entertainment Wi-Fi, well, it had a dumb TV, but the reception was okay. The Wi-Fi said it was Starlink, but for Starlink itself, it didn't have particularly brilliant speed. So it was quite patchy and dropped in and out. And the most infuriating thing was you had to sign in every bloody time you went back into your room. I mean, the Wi-Fi worked down here in the hotels. Yeah, you'd go out for the day on the cruise, you'd come back, you had to sign in again. You wake up in the morning, your device is still turned on, but you had to sign in again. Yeah, quite frustrating. So Wi-Fi, 2 stars. Bed and bath. Well, there's 2 points to the bed and bath. Bed, that was great. Actually, if it was just the bed, I'd be giving it 4 stars. But the bathroom, there's one thing you need in a bathroom is hot water. And for 2 out of the 3 mornings, no hot water was just simply not good enough. So for bed and bath, yeah, at a max, 2 stars. Service. Now the staff were very friendly at reception. They were very helpful when I locked myself out and had to go down and get another key. There's that bizarre rooms not serviced due to sustainability, which, I mean, that's just a bloody cop-out. Why not just admit it that you're saving money? But even in spite of that, the garbage got taken away on one morning when my room wasn't supposed to be serviced. So for service, again, middle of the road, 3 stars. Now, the value for money bonus. Well, okay, that was the cheapest room available in Strahan. $165 a night, which pretty much sums up Strahan. I'd hate to be one of the aquaculture workers who actually lives here, because every restaurant you go to is hideously expensive. Yeah, $165 a night for the cheapest hotel room accommodation. No, it doesn't get the value for money. And look, 30 minutes up the road is Queenstown, the Railway Hotel. Whilst it wasn't particularly brilliant, it was like living in a cell, and it didn't have a conjoined bathroom. At least that bathroom had hot water. So no value for money bonus. But the no earplugs bonus. Now, I had 2 nights sleep without earplugs, and then we had those guys in the room across the corridor on the piss, and I thought, nah, it's not gonna happen. But they went away. Don't know what happened. And so 3 nights without earplugs. So one thing that saves the Strahan Village for me is it gets the no earplugs bonus. So that's a total for the Strahan Village, including the bonus, of 21 out of 30. Now, I'd probably not choose to stay there again. I'd probably not want to stay there again if I had to come back to Strahan. And fingers crossed that all the videos I made for the other channel will come out okay, and I don't have to come back to Strahan. Because if it did, I'd probably have to stay at the Railway Hotel in Queenstown, because for $168 a night, no, and no hot water, no, that wasn't good enough. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, please click like, please subscribe, hit me up in the comments below if you've had a similar experience in Strahan, and we'll see you again on the road somewhere, hopefully in a hotel that is not one of the shit hotels of Australia. Thanks for watching. So here I am in Strahan at the Macquarie skate park. Who would have thought? And it literally is the Macquarie skate park. That is brilliant. I might actually have to add that to one of my other videos, which I'll put a link to in the description below. You should check it out.